Good afternoon, Miss Major. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining me on our second video. We're going to be covering the learn objective of the impact cycle for this video. Would you like to introduce yourself for this coaching session?
Sure. So I am Kelly Major, and I work at Madison County Middle School as a 7th grade social studies teacher. And this is my 10th year teaching.
All right, for our coaching session, we're going to go over our objectives for our session that we're going to be doing. Number one is to review the goal and strategy we discussed in the first video from watching your lesson. Number two, we're going to discuss or make any modifications if needed. Number three, we're going to review a checklist that I have designed for you based on the video reflection that we did. Number four, we're going to decide on a modeling approach. You can choose what kind of modeling approach you would like to use. Number five, we're going to implement that modeling approach. I'm going to model the technology for you. And number six, we're going to discuss when we might want to implement that or what class period you would like that to take place in.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is review your peers goal that we went over in the first video session. Based on what we discussed and watching your class and your lesson that took place, we had discussed increasing your student engagement. And in later discussions, we had actually talked about setting it at about 80%. We shoot for 100, but we will try to make 80% and see where it goes from there by utilizing Nearpod as your new technology tool.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, 100% participation would be awesome, but I'm excited to use Nearpod. I've kind of seen a little bit of it, but I'm really excited to learn about it. And I think that we can probably get to 100, but 80 is a good goal as well.
It was a great goal. Great goal. Yeah, it's really cool. And there's so many applications that you can use with it that I'm going to show you when I model it for you, that it'll definitely hit that 80% mark and should be higher for sure. But
all right.
All right, so for the first criteria for this session, I created a checklist for you to help you with implementing the new technology in your classroom. I'm going to share the checklist with you right now so you can see all the aspects of what I came up with to make this process a little bit easier for you. If there's anything that looks difficult or confusing, just let me know and we can work on that in the next section. Okay.
Okay.
So I set this checklist up as an effective implementation of new technology, which you chose Nearpod. So my first step is for you, the teacher, to create a Nearpod account through the school.
Okay.
And then your second step would be the teacher is going to create a Nearpod lesson to implement in class based on whichever standard you choose and the different applications that you would like to use.
Okay.
And then the third step, teacher will complete understanding of Nearpod and how to show the students how to use it.
Okay.
And then the teacher spends at least 5 minutes introducing Nearpod to the class. And then throughout the lesson, you'll add a few modeling techniques in there and go over how to use it as well. And then the next step, the teacher models how to use different applications Nearpod incorporates so the students understand their expectations.
That's as I get to a new, I think there's like a pin board, right? And so as we get to the pin board, then I explain to them how to use it or what I expect. And then the next time we get to something new, I explain that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. And then the teacher monitors the student responses and provides feedback based on their responses as one of your kind of formative assessments.
Okay.
And then the teacher monitors student engagement using observational data and student responses recording in the Nearpod lesson, which you can actually pull up the lesson and look at the data
Oh,
that they've inputted over the course of the lesson later on to review.
oh, I didn't know that it would record all their data. That's awesome.
Yep. The last step will be for you to reflect on the lesson to determine the effectiveness of using Nearpod as a new technology and whether you would like to continue using it or try something different in the future.
Got it. Those, I mean, I think I can follow all those steps.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you got it all. Is even the account, creating an account. So
That is what that checklist is
I think I
designed
can
for.
already make a check for that one. I think I already have an account, but that's it.
Okay, for the second criteria, we're just going to simply discuss the checklist we just went over. And if you would like to modify any of the steps that you saw on it, or if you were confused by anything, or if there's anything you would like to add.
I don't think there's anything I'd like to add. I mean, I feel like this is, I really like the last step, which is to reflect on the lesson, because that's always important. So I think this is pretty straightforward, and there's no modifications that I would like to make. So I'm ready to go.
Okay, for the third criteria for our coaching session, you get to choose an approach to modeling that you would like to observe me do, and identify a time to watch that, or we could do it through a Google Meet or however you want to approach it. So our options for modeling. The first option is we could model in your classrooms with the students present. Our second option is to model in your classrooms without the students present. That way, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or, if there's anything you're confused about or you'd like to change, we can discuss it without having to worry about the students being there. Then our third approach is a co-taught modeling approach, where we could co-teach in your classroom with you leading your social studies lesson, while I control the Nearpod. And of course, we could switch off and take turns and kind of use that as a different modeling approach and kind of mix it with the first two kind of. And then the last one is to visit my classroom or another teacher's classroom who is using Nearpod already as an add-on, to see what it looks like in a normal school setting.
Okay. I mean, those are all really great approaches, but I think for me, I would like to do in my classroom without the students present, just because I want to have I want to be able to ask questions, like you said.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be nervous about it. So I feel like having you show me how to use it,
Yeah,
after school or before or during planning or whatever, I would be more comfortable with that.
okay. Do you want to, we could still do it like this, or do you want me to actually do it in the room with both of us in the room together?
We can do it like this. That's fine. I think that would be okay.
Okay. All right. That sounds awesome. Okay. For the fourth criteria during our coaching session, I'm going to provide you with a few modeling formats. I'm going to share a screencast with you that you can watch. And it's almost like a tutorial of Nearpod. It shows you all the applications, how to get started, how to create your lesson, how to find your own lesson if you do not want to create one, or how to find one and edit it to fit your classroom, to make it easier to use for your students. And the second one, we're just going to model together and build a Nearpod together, based on one of your lessons that you would like to do. Okay.
Sounds good.
Hello, this is a quick tutorial on using Nearpod. Our county provides it for us, so all you got to do is log in through our LMS system. As you can see on our homepage here, You have a code you can enter to join lessons, to try them out. You have my lessons, which you can see mine right here, already kind of set up and designed. You can organize them into folders. You can create your own, or you can search lessons in your library. Or over here, you can see on the side, you can search lessons in the school's library or the district's library or Nearpod's library, which they contain over 15,000 lessons. So there's all kinds of cool things already set up that you can get and edit and change and copy, and can accommodate it for your classroom and the standards you're covering in your room. Right here, once you've completed a lesson, you can see there are reports that you can look at. So you can see how the kids did. You can see what kind of responses they gave or if they participated. So that'll help you kind of look at your observational goals and your peers' goals that we are setting. You can set up sub plans if you need to. It's got accommodations down here, and then it's got vocabulary video packs, and then of course teacher resources down here at the bottom. But the lessons themselves, you can just go in. If you would like to create one, you can see there's different activities. If we go to lesson, here is the lesson setup or operating area. You can add new, you can copy, you can duplicate slides and then change them. You can drag and drop files in here, including PDFs. If you do want to add new, there's lots of different content and applications that you can use that are really good for the classroom. And if you go, you got activities button here, or you can click this little down arrow. And then you got lots more activities, drag and drop, open-ended, matching, quizzes, fill in the blanks, polls, collaborative boards or peg boards. You can have them draw stuff. It's got flip grid included as well, and then also memory tests. There's lots of really cool applications that you can use. If we go back to our home page, you can see up here at the top right, that you can create from here as well, and then there's also a quick launch. So lots of really cool features and neat things to do. All right, I'm going to stop the video right there so that we can discuss what type of lesson you might want to use Nearpod with.
Sure. My students we're doing African history, and we are about to start our apartheid in South Africa unit or section. So I'd like to do it over apartheid.
Okay. That sounds really cool. Have they done any activities with that yet, or is this a new lesson?
Not yet. This will be brand new.
Oh, perfect. Okay, now that you've got to see the screencast and you got to see how things are kind of put together, we're just going to build a lesson together based on the standard that you have chosen. And we're just going to kind of walk through this and get it all put together, and then you can use it in class if you would like.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so we're going to click Add Content and Activities. And then our first slide, we're just going to do a cover slide here. Okay. This has lots of content. I know you saw that in the screencast. Excuse me. And then lots of activities as well that we can implement here.
Yes, that's the exciting part.
And we talked about just, we're just going to start with 6 slides today during our coaching session.
Okay.
So for our first slide here, we're going to do an intro slide just to show a cover. And which tile would you like? Which theme?
I like that green one.
Okay.
Let's start with that.
The green. All right. What kind of lesson are we going to be?
This one's going to be over apartheid in South Africa. So, yes. Oh, you spelled it right. Yes, apartheid. in South Africa.
All right. And I know you sent me a picture we're going to use, so let me go grab that. All right.
Oh, that looks good.
That look good for the cover?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Save. All right. Now that we got the cover complete, we're going to move on to the next piece of this lesson. We're going to go ahead and click on add content again. What kind of activity would you like to use right off the bat to go ahead and get the kids fully engaged in the lesson?
I think maybe we can start with a poll.
Okay.
I think that's a good one.
All right.
I want to see if they know anything about apartheid before we start.
That's a good way to start a discussion about it too. All right. What do you want your question to be?
How much do you know about apartheid?
Okay. And then what answer options would you like?
So I would like the first option to be I know a lot. And then the second option, I know a little.
Okay.
And then can we add another option that says I know nothing?
Ooh, nothing. All right. That looks pretty cool. And then, of course, we can modify and add pictures later if we'd like to.
Okay.
If you want to, throw an image on there. All right. Let's save that. All right. Now that we got our poll set up, we can move on to our third piece of content or activity. What do you think you might want to add in next after that?
I think we got to add some sort of information. So I found an article on a website that I'd like them to read.
Okay.
So I can send you that link.
That'll be web content.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let me grab the link.
Yeah.
All right. Put it in there. Let's see. We'll go ahead and save that. Yeah, articles are a great way to access information outside and have a class discussion.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is they'll read and then I'd like to ask them some questions about it.
All right. Now that we got the article in place, what do you think you might like for the fourth?
You showed me this, I think you called it a pin board, where we can ask them like an open-ended question about the article and just kind of see what kind of responses we get.
All right. Nearpod, the collaborative board. That's right here.
That's the one. Mm-hmm.
All right. Which one of the tiles would you like?
I like the one that looks like a bulletin board. That one's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. What is our topic going to be?
Let's say the impact of apartheid. So the question I want to ask would be, how did apartheid affect the citizens of South Africa?
Perfect. All right. Sound good?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what kind of responses I'll get.
I will throw that on there. Let's save that. And when we're done with our tiles, we'll look at the whole thing as a preview and just kind of take a look at it.
Sure.
All right. We got our collaborative board there. Perfect. All right. Let's move on to your fifth content. What would you like to put there?
I think what I'd like to add is I've got a picture of laws that were posted like on a poster that I'd like the students to look at the laws. So I just want it like just a picture. So what could we do for that?
All right. We can use the slides for that. All right. Any particular background?
The green one's fine. The same one we used before.
Stay with the green one?
Yeah.
Okay. let's change the layout for just picture.
Okay.
All right, and let me grab the picture that you emailed to me.
That's it.
All right, perfect. And for our final piece of content, what would you like to go with?
Let's kind of, I guess, wrap it up and ask them. Let's do their quiz. The quiz.
There is definitely a quiz. We have a time to climb game quiz or a regular quiz.
I think just regular.
It's a regular quiz.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, let's go back to our first slide and kind of preview through to make sure you like how the lesson was built.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the kids are really going to like this and be pretty engaged in it. So this will be a good lesson to use.
Yeah, I think this is so cool. Just having that real time. I mean, the poll, the pin board. Yeah.
All right, we got that. We got our poll. Oh, that looks good. We got our web page for access.
Yes.
All right, then we got our pin board.
Good.
Looks cool. We got our crazy laws picture. It's pretty neat. And then our quiz. All right.
Awesome.
Question 2, question 3. All right. That looks really neat. And you can always go in and adapt anything and add some activities if you'd like, and change things and add pictures. You know, that way the kids have a visual to be able to look at as you go through this. So that'll be really neat too. There's so many applications you can do with this. It's really neat technology that you'll enjoy using in your class. So
yeah, I'm really excited to try it. A lot more interactive than just slideshows.
Yeah. It definitely allows you to stop, and you can throw the control over to the kids if you wanted to put in some slides for that. I know only certain applications are going to work with the lesson that you have, but there's a lot of neat things, because I know you do a lot of lessons with drawing and things like that. The kids can get in there and kind of play with those features. So yeah, this will be awesome, and it'll definitely help you get your engagement up to 80%. So that'll be nice.
Good.
All right, for our 5th criteria, I'm just going to talk to you about a time you'd like to implement Nearpod into your classroom. So when do you think you might plan to implement it? During this week?
I think we will be ready for that next week. So Monday, probably ready for that.
Monday. That sounds perfect. That sounds perfect. That'll give us time the rest of this week for us to discuss any changes you want to make, or if we need to tweak anything, or if you have questions about, how to model it to the students or whatnot. And then we can do our observations on your video from your lesson implementation, and that'll be perfect. And then we can discuss and see if we can get those goals met for you that you picked in the last video session.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, great. I think we've come up with a really good plan, and I appreciate all of your time, and thank you for meeting with me. Do you have anything else? Any other questions?
Not right now, but thank you. I'm excited.
All right. I will see you soon for the improve session.
Okay. Bye.